Why must we always flip off the ones we love?
Because everybody else will kick your ass.
This is Then You Ruined It, the podcast that will last until one of us makes it weird. Hope you have a short commute.
So, as I don't know what we are as far as like generational titles go. Some people would call us millennials, some people would call us Gen X. I like the Oregon Trail generation to kind of encapsulate that little middle ground between the two. You haven't heard that one? You're giving me the face.
I am giving you the face because no, I've not heard that. That's an awesome one, but that's too cool. Has to be something lame like millennial or Gen X.
Why? Why can't we be cool in one thing? We're not cool in anything else right now.
That is true. Give us this one thing. Come on. Give us dysentery. Just let us have this.
But anyway, we're old-ish. We're not old. We're getting old. And as a man who has never been bald but has been balding for 20 years, that ing is very important. So, at the risk of sounding like an old man, I want to talk about this up-and-coming generation and how much they suck at one thing that I haven't heard anybody else call them out on. Lots of people are calling out the Zoomers or the Zillennials or the Z Nation or whatever you want to call these kids. Kids today, they're so soft. They can't do this. They can't do that. You're right. They can't do a lot of things. They have no attention span. They have no grit. And for the first time ever, I'm calling them out. They can't shut a manual door.
What do you mean by a manual door?
A car door that you have to shut with your own arm.
That's concerning, and I also don't fully know what you mean, because if you have an arm, you can close a door.
You would think. That was the assumption I was under, and I was proved incorrectly as I started giving my son's friends rides places, and apparently they've lived in some highfalutin world where they just push a button and it slides the door shut automatically. So when it becomes their turn to shut the door as God intended, they can't do it. And they just kind of push it and go, meh. And it just slowly slides, doesn't fully shut, and they just look ahead as if their job is done, and I am now in charge of driving them. I'm like, no, you haven't shut the door. Do it again. And my son's just sitting there, just like, I can't tell if he's embarrassed at his friend for not being able to shut his door, or at his dad for not being able to handle the fact that his friend doesn't know how to shut a door. But he's miserable, I'm upset, and the other kid is confused because he doesn't know why the door isn't shut. He doesn't know how to solve this problem.
What a fun family. Let's ride with the shinnies, please.
Stop asking me to give you rides places.
Yeah.
If you haven't taught your kids how to shut a door.
Both the father and the son are super pissed for no reason every time they give me a ride. And it's the best.
They're hairy and angry.
Worst combo ever.
It's served men of my line for many a century. Why would we change it now?
Heard of being hangry. These guys are hair angry.
We're like the chimpanzees of the modern world. Don't start nothing, won't be nothing. Don't try and shut nothing, won't be nothing.
I mean, I have seen kids that use the automatic minivan door, and I get that. But I've not seen an automatic door on a car, like a sedan or something like that. Those are always swing the door shut. And I can tell you, my children assume that the car door has to go so hard back into the car that it should come out the other side to make sure it's closed. Now that's the second time. The first time it'll always be this gentle I got the door closed. And no, you didn't. Come on, open it again. And that's when they rear back. It's like, fine, I'll give you closed. Wham! Wakes up half the neighborhood. It's like, thank you for closing the door. Next time, not so hard. You said close it. Okay. We're just going to go with that then. I don't need to fight with you about the door because I'm going to fight with you about something else as soon as we get inside.
You technically did what I wanted you to. I sort of win this one.
Yeah. I'm never concerned with winning anymore. Winning is not a thing I get to do. Once they're in bed, once they were in bed tonight, I got to build some Lego before I talked to you, and that was a win. I'm going to take that one.
I have gotten to the point where I will say something that I know will upset my son just so he will shut the door better.
That is definitely something my daughter has taken to. She lets her frustrations be known. Usually she would just be quiet and stewing in it until she would ask, like, she would demand something of us, and we're like, well, you never said anything, so we couldn't tell what was wrong. If you don't just go upstairs and Batman yourself, maybe we'll have some inkling and we can work on it together. And now,
wait. She goes upstairs and kills her parents?
No, she wouldn't kill her parents. She would go up there and just be brooding while her parents were killed somewhere else.
Wow, that's more of a... Oh, who did that? I don't know.
I mean, any Disney
Simba?
character. Any female Disney character. There are many. So, but yeah, I can tell if she gets home from school if my wife pissed her off about something, because I'll hear from down here, thump, 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 wham. I've gotten really good at telling exactly what's going on 2 floors up, just by how loud my daughter's being. Can't tell with my son.
Yeah.
My son will sound like a herd of elephants when he's coloring. Dude is so freaking active. Just has to get. He'll like color one character in on a piece on a sheet, and he doesn't even stay in the lines for that. He's too active for that. And then once he's done with that, he just gets down and just runs around or just stomps his feet on the ground while he's doing that. I'm like, you can't do anything quietly, can you? Even when he's playing his mother's tablet, which is his favorite thing to do these days, he is down, playing the tablet, looking down at it, and ass and legs are just in the air constantly. Just like, can you just lay still and do something? And his answer is usually, okay.
I can tell you're being harsh on him, but I defy you to look me in the eye and say that at least at one point you didn't run, and then lift the controller up as you pressed A to jump over the Goomba.
I imagine I did when I first started playing video games, but I think I got that under control pretty quickly. There are some days now when I will be playing a game with the kids, and if I have like a really quick jump or something that surprises me, I can feel like the heels of my feet lift up just a little bit. About it. I was never the kid that's jumping the controller. You got to jump over here. Try this. I was the kid that laughed at those kids. What a noob. I never actually used that term, ironically or unironically, as just, we'll just be like, well, they're.
Well, it's because we know no one ever played a game around you. You were always playing games around them.
True. Yeah. I had plenty of that going on, and now, I shouldn't say I've passed this on to a new generation because I haven't passed anything on, but there's a neighbor kid from 2 houses down that will come down to, quote unquote, play with my son. I say that because he's in 3rd grade. My son's in kindergarten, so they're not going to really be friends. But he comes down, and his playing with him is... At one point, they did. They used to like go around the house and see what they could play, and my son didn't want to play with any of his toys with him, so he would just be like, I don't know, there's nothing to do. So now he comes over, and he plays PS5, because he knows we have a PS5. So he'll come over and play that, and one time he played a game that's new to me. I haven't played it yet, and I realized after he left, I'm like, oh, crap. He just set up a new profile and everything. If I want to play now, I'm going to have to like start over because I don't know like the opening stuff that he saw that I haven't seen. And this is for Spider-Man Miles Morales, if anybody wants to know the game. But so I thought to myself, okay, do I erase that before he comes over next time? And just like, well, I don't know what happened to the system, but you're going to have to start over again, I guess.
And you're still like, hey, this ain't yours.
Yeah, that's definitely also a possibility. Instead, I went with the more sly. So at the PlayStation, at least, you can set up a guest profile, or at least you say, I want to play as a guest. And it specifically says, and he saw it when I signed in, it says, when you sign out, all of your progress will be lost. Like you're literally a guest. None of this is going to be kept if you don't sign into some profile. And I was like, that's what I want. And he looked at me just like, dude, really?
It's like, you don't live here.
Yeah. It's like, I'm sorry. If you give me your PlayStation account, I'll let you sign into that, and you can keep some progress or whatever, but you shouldn't be here.
Does he have a PlayStation of his own?
I have no idea. They have a Switch. I know he's mentioned that, but he didn't say he was so enamored with the PS5 and the fact that I had one tells me he doesn't have that. He could have a PS4 or something else. I'm not sure, but yeah, I haven't engaged him. He'll come in and just start playing, and my son will, again, ass up, just play on the iPad. I'll come out there and he's just leaping in the air with half his body while the other kid is just calmly playing. I'm like, well, at least maybe you can pick up that from him. Just sit and enjoy something. But he's in kindergarten. That's what you're going to do. At least he knows how to close a door. I'll say that. Bring him back around.
He is welcome to come to my house, and I will give him a ride somewhere.
I do remember because our family got the Astro van. That was what my family exclusively drove for probably 10 years. We had a white one, and then we didn't trade. We got a new car, and that new car was a teal Astro van. Just literally the exact same vehicle, just a different color. And I remember, I think it was around that time that they started having the minivans with the slide door. And I remember asking, why can't we get that? I've seen my friends that have that. It's really cool.
Mom, I want wood paneling.
Yeah. That was another thing. I would see that in big, long vans that bigger families would have. I get to ride in those. The wood paneling is amazing. And there's also cushy seats in the back, not leather, but almost like a couch. It's crazy. Love the van. Also, couldn't stand the van because I have terrible motion sickness. And man, did you feel like you're swinging back and forth when they just take a light corner. Like going to Pizza Hut and I'm sick before we get there. So there was ups and downs, but yeah. Luckily my parents were just shut up, close the door. Slide it. Not a problem. It's if you can't open and close that sliding door, then we're gonna send you to a different school.
So I will obviously criticize my son's friends for all this stuff, and I just assume a 14-year-old can close a door. But I am very much a hypocrite because my daughter really struggles to close the door when she's inside the car and we're parked on our driveway, which is at an incline. So she's going against gravity, and it is kind of a heavy door. So what I will do is, if we're in a hurry, I'll have her jump in and I'll start backing up with the door still open, and then I'll just accelerate so that it'll slam the door shut for her, and then away we go.
There's definitely times when I think the first time I realized that could be a thing was, again, I wasn't able to drive any of the vans we had, but I definitely remember not getting it quite closed and parents stepping on the gas and realizing, oh, it's not closed, and they were just going wham. It's like that was amazing. Could I repeat that? Would she let me repeat that? Can I just say, yep, door's closed, let's go? That was the kind of thing that would have gotten me beaten as a child. So I shouldn't say beaten, belted.
That's not better.
I mean, no, but also I think I've mentioned before, me and my brother were pretty big jackasses. So
oh yeah, believe me, I understand. There's few people I've wanted to belt more than you, but
I thought you were going to say your son.
No, I like that kid.
I think I took more offense to that, but I'm not sure. I understand, and also, hey.
I mean, come on. Put yourself in my shoes.
You're a grown
Put yourself
man.
in
Do
my
you really
belt.
feel the need to smack another grown man with a belt?
Constantly. You don't. You don't want to just smack half the people you work with.
Nobody I work with, no.
And everyone who drives in front of you slower than you want them to. I told you this. I'm hairy and I'm angry. I just want to hit the world.
Yes, there is that. And I definitely have my instances of rage issues, but yeah, never take it out on anything that actually would. It's always something that would hurt myself or an object, never another person.
That's true. You have told on this podcast times you've kicked garbage cans and hurt your foot or something like that. I can't remember exactly the details, but you got your butt kicked by an inanimate object.
I'm trying to think of the last thing I punched or kicked and it hurt me. It probably happened recently. It probably happened on vacation, actually. There's plenty of frustrating moments then. There was one. I can't remember if it was on vacation or right before vacation, but there was one time when I now I kind of shadow box. And it's not impressive, but I just punch the air and just, you can't take it out on anything. Nothing's getting hurt. So I punch the air when I get really pissed. And I did.
That's not shadow boxing. That's a tantrum, but continue.
Okay. But it's the same thing. If I call it shadow boxing, it sounds a little cooler.
Shadow boxing indicates that you could beat up a shadow.
No, I don't think that's what it means. I think but anyways, I did it and I threw just the right hook or jab. I'm not sure which. And like almost dislocated my shoulder. I was like, oh God, that really hurts. Oh, the one like the type where it tingled like all the way down my arm. I was like, oh, that was so. I just instantly just went from I am so pissed about whatever that was. 'Cause I can't remember what it was. To oh, you dumbass. Oh, you really might have done it this time. You are 43. You can't be just punching the air.
You can't move your arm through air, sir.
I mean, not quickly, no. Oh, it doesn't hurt anymore, luckily. I really thought it was going to be like one of those, okay, before you go on vacation, you have to go see the doctor because you dislocated your shoulder. And it went away pretty quickly. But the fact that it like tingled all the way down to my fingers is like, oh, God.
So there was a time, I can't remember exactly when, but it wasn't too long ago, when I was also full of rage, and I did this very mature thing I do, where I imagine the head of the person that I'm upset with on the ground, and I perform a field goal. So I'm just kicking the air, but I'm in my head, I'm kicking someone right in the dome. And I did that, and I just kept going. And so I totally Charlie Browned myself, landed square on the back, and I'm just like, I don't want to explain this one. Dear God, if anything is broken, please let me die. Because I don't want to talk about this.
Oh, that's great. That's one where you're just laying there just like, I deserve all of this, and also I really hope I didn't just break something.
I deserve none of this. I am wronged. If I had really kicked another human, I would deserve punishment. But harmless fantasizing, I don't deserve to be smote for that. That shows growth. That's me improving as a person. If I get hurt every time I don't rage out at somebody, I'm just gonna rage.
I will say one of my more recent rage reducers, I guess, is I don't like giving the finger. I don't. It's such a childish thing to do and whatever, but it can be very cathartic as well. But I never do it at I never let the person see it. Like it's always hidden in some way. So I've gotten very, very good and adept at turning on my targeting computer and zeroing in on typically my daughter, but sometimes it's directed at my wife, and like finding where they are upstairs and just firing off a barrage. Saying a few choice things under my breath as well, but really just flipping off the upper floor or wherever they might be.
What if you're mad at somebody else, though?
It's rarely anybody else. I don't come across that many people out in the world elsewhere that get my ire up like that, so it's always the ones you love.
Why must we always flip off the ones we love?
Because everybody else will kick your ass.
I'm gonna say, because the ones I love deserve it.
Yeah.
Seriously, Jason, you ruined it. If you want to express your displeasure with him, me, or the show in general, you can find us on Twitter. I am at Idahobo, and Jason is at the Jason Sigler. We also do a webcomics review podcast called Digital Strips.